Paul Tassi is a journalist for Forbes in the gaming division. He's been there for about a decade or so. He's been there for a while, and he's someone who I used to genuinely appreciate and, dare I even say, look up to as a beacon of hope for games journalism in the game industry, as somebody that takes the right approach to all of it. But over the recent years, articles have been coming out from him where I've been raising an eyebrow more and more often, to the point where I'm like, hold up, is this guy the same Paul Tassi that he used to be? Or has he been completely indoctrinated by the system to make sure now he pushes the same message to be safe from failure in the industry? What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. Paul Tassi is a lost cause. Someone who I used to look up to is now looked at the most pathetic way possible. This character stood up for Kotaku of all outlets, and in addition to that, stands up for Alyssa Mercante. Because how dare anybody try to criticize her for anything? The other people have to be in the wrong. Because there's no way Alyssa Mercante could be a problem. Because, hey, I'm Paul Tassi, and I work in the game industry. And I'm definitely not a simp. Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out SmashJT.com for the full article talking about how Paul Tassi goes on the offense defending Alyssa Mercante to the point of being embarrassed and ultimately blocking me. Why? Because I dare tell him what the reality is, and he can't handle it. There comes a point where giving someone the benefit of the doubt becomes impossible. And when it comes to journalists, that point is coming exceedingly fast these days. That moment has officially come for one Paul Tassi. For a long time, I tried to approach his work with an open mind. Despite the occasional eyebrow-raising article and his wonky takes, I was willing to see if he could bring a fair, nuanced perspective to gaming journalism. But no, in recent months, it's become clear that he's absolutely no different than most of the other journalists in the gaming industry. He is an activist. Plain and simple, someone that is falling in line, making sure he is helping to hold this house of cards up so that it doesn't come crumbling down on all of them. The whole situation came to a head with a recent Twitter exchange, and it all began where Paul Tassi downplayed any kind of criticism directed at Kotaku, the quote-unquote gaming site that is long known for pushing the woke ideology and attacking gamers and also protecting their own at the cost of their entire integrity. They have nothing left to stand on, so now they just shill and attack and play victim all day long. And it's something I've taken much issue with over the years. Those of you who have come to the channel for a while would know that I feel like Kotaku is the epicenter for the problem in games journalism. It all seems to start there. Paul Tassi quote tweets Aftermath, which those of you that might not know, Aftermath was formed from former Kotaku employees that were laid off, Luke Plunkett, one of the main ones, and these people are very strange. And that's being very nice about it. I don't think any of them have any grounded reality. They have no grip on life. They have a very skewed perspective on the games industry. And they all came together to form this site for the people, by the people, and they run it themselves. And hey, it's still around, so congrats, it's doing well. But I find it interesting, first off, that Paul Tassi is not just talking about it, but he's sharing it from their site, promoting it because he wants to lift them up, because friends help each other in this industry, and they all got each other's backs. Paul Tassi quote tweets Aftermath's article saying, "This idea of Kotaku as some big games journalism boogeyman at this point is weird. The site has been cut to what? Like 4 full-time people constantly dealing with clueless private equity management? Just move on." Which, you know what? On the surface, like I said in my previous video covering this layoff at Kotaku, I do blame Geo Media for part of the issue. That part of the issue is hiring the people that they hired. Because when you're a games media outlet, all you have to fall back on is your integrity and trust. The community only cares about what you have to say if they can believe you. They lost all of that because of the people that they've employed are not trustworthy people. So yes, I blame Geo Media for hiring those said people. Ultimately, though, the blame falls on them because they have garnered an audience full of lies and nobody believes them. And I thought me and Paul were on an okay level. I don't expect him to love me, nor do I love him back, but it was one of those professional, cordial relationships where I'm like, I know of him, I'm sure he knows of me, so I'm just going to reply and give him a heads up of why people feel the way they do about the situation, where I said, Paul, the people that work there are terrible human beings, attacking gamers constantly and supporting editors that go after people in their private life for daring to have said opinions. They have made their bed, now lay in it. Zero sympathy. So that's just me being real, because it feels like Paul has no grip of reality as to why the community doesn't care about Kotaku. And I'm just like, here's why, like newsflash, nobody likes Kotaku because the people working there continually attack the gamers, and gamers don't like being attacked. It's pretty straightforward, and I felt like Paul should know this, so I figured I'd tell him that. And of course, Paul takes the low road. Aren't you the guy who made like 500 videos about Alyssa? What? I guess? Like, what? What? Why is that the first go-to? Because all I'm doing is informing you as to why people don't like this website. And you come out and start attacking me for daring to hold them accountable. It shows where your allegiance lies. And it's embarrassing. It's pathetic. The entire community sees right through what you're doing here. And he's rightfully getting piled on Twitter for this. I was so taken back. I was like, okay, I guess we're going here with this. So I quote tweeted him and said, imagine doing your job, reporting to your audience information that they're interested in hearing. Imagine doing the slightest bit of research, discovering any time I covered her was spotlighting how she was hurting the very industry that supports your paycheck. Just imagine. And honestly, I take a step back and I'm like, that was super cordial, where I'm not attacking Paul, I'm not going at him, I'm just like, bro, you're coming at me, and again, I'm just informing you as to why people don't like Kotaku 1 and Alyssa 2. And apparently, the truth hurts, and Paul can't take it because clearly he's simping for Alyssa and can't stand any kind of truth bombs. I went on with my day thinking nothing of it. He said his piece, I said mine, and we moved on. And as the day carried on and continued, I realized the tweets that I was putting out there were gaining quite a bit of traction. And they started ratioing him, and people started going at Paul and laughing at him and pointing out why he's wrong. And clearly, he couldn't take it. So even though we said our pieces and went our separate ways, apparently like 8 or 9 hours later, Paul was so fed up with people ratioing him that he came back and blocked me. And I'm like, bro, what did I do? What did I say? What happened here where you feel like I deserve to be blocked? I never attacked you outright. All I was doing was informing you as to why people don't like this said outlet that you're trying to defend. And for some reason, because I said things that are factual based on a foundation of what's transpired historically with them, you can't take the truth, so you block me? I screenshot his block on me and said, Paul, did you really just block me for an extremely fair clapback? Holy shit, you're weaker than I gave you credit for. That's some serious beta cuck energy you're exuding. Learn how to take an L properly. You'd be a lot happier in life, I promise. Because that's the interesting thing about these types of people. They have no idea how to take an L. They double down, they triple down, they block, they echo chamber, and they put their fingers in the ear screaming, la 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 la, I'm right, I'm right, I'm right, while they're running away. And it doesn't work in the long run. It's embarrassing. People call you out, and they know who you are. Like, this is a scarlet letter type moment. You don't do these kind of things because it shows the community who you are. And it's not something that they want to be a part of. That's the problem with all of this. Like, if you take a step back and try to be impartial, you know, I don't know, wild thought here, be an actual journalist and be impartial and remove your bias as much as possible and look at it for what it is, you can say, oh, damn it, I'm definitely backing the wrong horse here. And then I said he didn't block me until he realized how bad he got owned here. Come on, Paul, I'm the good guy here. To which Paul replies after he blocked me, he came back and replied saying, I forgot blocking doesn't even do anything now. What? What was the point of even saying that? Like, what? Like, I can't reply to you because blocking doesn't let me reply to you. That's what blocking does. So I don't understand what you're trying to get across here. The interaction here, petty as it may seem on the surface, is actually quite deeper and more emblematic of insidious rot going on behind the scenes in the game industry, especially when it comes to journalism. The moment someone dares to call out industry figures or major outlets for their hypocrisy, they become the target. It's very telling when the response isn't engagement or discussion, but a retreat behind the safety of the block. I knew Paul was weak on social media going into this, so I always approached him with the kid gloves in the past. This way, it would be easy to expose him for who he truly is deep down. This, unfortunately, was way too easy to accomplish here just by being nice, killing him with kindness, and letting everyone see just how this guy reacts to the slightest, ever so slightest bit of pushback, not even against him, but just letting him know, being the mediator to the community, saying, hey, Paul, here's all these angry gamers, here's Kotaku, let me be the one to tell you this is why the bridge here is not getting crossed. Diversity, inclusivity, equity, the reality of all these DEI buzzwords is nothing more than marketing terms thrown around to satisfy audiences and uphold the facade. Real inclusivity would mean accepting that there's room for different viewpoints and that not all criticism is just baseless hate, especially here in this situation. The sad truth is that as long as the industry is populated by these so-called journalists like Paul Tassi, who can't handle being called out and can't stand up to a genuine conversation, these kind of principles will remain a joke. Only those with the right opinions will get the pass. The rest are blocked, mocked, and ignored. These activists can't stand for the truth. It goes against the very foundation of hitting their intended target. Because if you have activism in your blood, you are having an intended target you're aiming for, and you don't care about the repercussions of what happens along the way trying to get there. So now this is me talking about how Jason Schreier sucks in my previous video and Paul Tassi sucks in this one. That's two white males that are in the games industry in journalism. So I guess the whole attacking me for being racist or misogynistic or attacking females or whatever it is kind of flies out the window when you see that all of these people suffer from the same problem. I don't discriminate. You all suck equally. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys want more information or all screenshots and information, check out smashjt.com. I will link this article in the description below. If you appreciate what I'm doing, hit that join button. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.
The Veil Guard. There's a lot of opinions out there online, but I want to be told what to think by 3 people I know. Smash JT. Smash JT. Smash JT. Smash JT.